Hello students, today our lecture is consisting of the subject International Marketing, which is MCOM 4th semester's optional group A, paper 4. We are going to discuss about unit 5th, EXIM policy of India. So students, I am Dr. Swati Tiwari, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Dr. BSP, Government College Pendra, District Gorela Pendra. Students, what is EXIM policy? It is a foreign trade policy commonly known as import and export policy of India. In today's business world, import and export policy is mandatory to be adopted by every country in the world. For the economic development of the country, export policy is promoted. So without entering into international market or trading internationally, economy of any country cannot grow. For this only, EXIM policies are designed in the country. The main aim of EXIM policy is to explore new markets in the world, cultivate export, promote foreign trade and maintain favorable balance of payment. It states all the decisions related to policy, procedure and promotion of foreign policy taken by government in relation to export and import. So EXIM policy is such a policy which encourages the export from a country and also promotes the import to a country. But at the same time, main aim is to create a balance of payment between export and import. So students, objective of foreign trades are to encourage sustained economic growth, to generate new avenues for employment opportunity, to provide a good quality goods and services to consumers at competitive prices, to provide all the necessary resources required for economic growth of the country like raw material, capital goods, services, intermediaries, etc. To establish dynamic economy by attracting global investors, to exploit market potential globally, to produce goods, services of international standard, to encourage research and development in the field of primary, secondary and service sector, and to strengthen technological development. These are certain objectives of foreign trade. Means all round development of any economy needs international trade also, so that we can get benefit of international technologies, international market, international capital goods which we cannot produce in our own country. We need certain services like intermediaries or commission houses which help us to export our goods. Sometimes we have to bring raw materials from other countries. Even we need investments from outside. Even we can sell our goods and commodities in the international market. So there are so many different objectives for which foreign trade is necessary. So students, after getting knowledge about the objective of EXIM policy, we should look about the brief history of EXIM policy also. India is known for its huge natural deposits since centuries. From north to south and from east to west, it has vast resources. Earlier it was known as Sone ki Chidiya. Indian textiles, crafts, spices, leather goods, brassware, utensils, etc. were exported to distant places of the world in the ancient time also. After independence, for many years India adopted inward oriented trade policy. Inward oriented trade policy means that foreign investors, foreign goods, foreign services were not entertained in Indian economy. Foreigners were restricted to our market. The main stress was on industrial development and import substitution. The common feeling at that time was that if foreigners will enter our market, who will purchase our own goods? Who will purchase our commodities? So that's why they restricted foreigners to enter our market. Economy was dwelling in restricted and controlled environment. License Raj or Kota Raj were popular terms of that time. This system went on till 1990. From 1990-91, India adopted outward-oriented strategy. From here, economic liberalization took place. Indian economy was set open for liberalization, privatization and globalization, which we normally know as LPG. This year brought revolutionary change in Indian economic pattern and can be said benchmark year for Indian economy. This was the year where our economy took U-turn. The whole system was changed. Rather, our markets were open for foreign investors, and our economy was also open at international level. This should be understood as by dividing the whole period in two different parts, that is period after independence and before 1990 and the period after 1990. So first look at the period after independence and before 1990. In the initial planning period, policymakers thought that there is a very limited opportunity for increase in export. Policymaker at that time thought that there is international market is not very vast and we have a very little opportunity to export our goods and services. This was their basic thought at that period of time. But actually during this period, remarkable increase in foreign trade was registered in India. Actually, you can say that during this period, we find that the rate of foreign trade was much higher than the overall world's rate of foreign trade. In the year 1973, due to oil crisis faced by nation, some changes in export policy was made. Export processing zones were established, technologies, capital goods were imported against exports, but this process went on for 10 years only, means from 1973 to next 10 years only, this process went on. In the next few years, more attention was paid on technological improvement, increase in the size of plant, free imports, etc. In the year 1985, 3 years EXIM policy was adopted by the government of India. This was the first time that leaving the annual EXIM policy, we adopted 3-year EXIM policy, first time. The reason behind 3-year policy was very simple, that every business takes 2 to 3 years to flourish. Means it takes 2 to 3 years to establish a business and start production and all that. This was also suggested by P.C. Alexander Committee in the year 1978. Although this this pattern was adopted in 1985, but before that P.C. Alexander Committee has already suggested this point to adopt 3 years policy in 1978. In 1981, export-oriented units were set up under EOU schemes. This year only, export-oriented units, specifically those units which are made for, established for export, were started setting up in 1981, means permission were given to such units. Export-Import Bank of India was set up in the year 1982 to look after all the international financial operations of IDBI. Means one section of IDBI was set separately for export-import financial operations. This was named as Export-Import Bank of India. In the trade policy of 1985, Abid-Hussain Committee, which was actually formed in 1984, proposed growth-led export rather than export-led growth. The point here is that we should adopt such policy which depends on export, not we should depend on growth for our exports. Is that clear? It suggested such policy which should bring a balance and coordination between foreign trade and domestic trade policy. Means it should be domestic trade policy should be framed in such a way which give a backup to the export trade policy also. Means it should be clearly supported by the all export trade policy should be supported by the domestic trade policy. There should not be any difference or fraction between the export trade policy and domestic trade policy. Both should be made in having a view of simultaneous growth. Export processing zones were set up, quantitative restrictions and tariff rates were reduced. So during the year 1985, the export policy supported the export processing zones to set up, quantitative restrictions and tariff rates were reduced. Means on certain quantitative restrictions were reduced and even the international tariff rates were reduced. Now students, we will look after the economic policy in the period after 1990. Indian economy shifted from protectionist trade practice to massive liberalization trade practice. It means the basic method of protecting our economy from foreign investors, foreign goods and foreign services, we have switched over to the massive liberalization trade practices, where we open our market for the foreigners as well in the field of industrialization, in the field of service sector. To bring stability in EXIM policy, 5-year duration period were adopted. From 3 years to 5-year duration period were adopted, means whatever EXIM policy will be framed will be applicable for next 5 years. Introduction to liberalization, privatization and globalization was the key factor of this EXIM policy. This was the first year that liberalization, privatization and globalization took place in our economy. Since this reformed economic policy, many changes had been adopted by government from time to time. Revised tax rates, special economic zones, many service sectors being opened for international service providers, tax holidays, concessions to real estate industry, foreign direct investment, etc. became the popular terminologies of every EXIM policy since 1991. So students, this was the brief history about EXIM policy since independence to the current day. In next lecture, we will look after the foreign trade trend in India, or you can say that trends of foreign trade in India. Thank you.